Hooks a total of 46 braid pins. After 46 braid stitches are completed, we continue to hook a braid as a standing stitch. The crochet is then inserted into the penultimate stitch. Start hooking the short needle. The next stitch is also short. We hook a short needle into each eye till the last stitch. After the first row is complete, there are 46 short needles. Next we hook 2 braids as standing pins. Then flip the braid. Start hooking the second row. Hook a long needle into the first stitch. Then lock a stitch. And then continue in this stitch. Hook another long needle. Then empty the stitches. Hook a long needle into the next stitch. Stitch. Then hook a long needle. Then empty the stitches. Hook a long needle into the next stitch. A lock pin. Then another long needle. Then continue to empty the stitches. Long needle. Lock pin. Another long needle. We follow this crochet pattern. Repeat crochet until the last stitch. The last stitch ends. Also hook a long needle. A lock pin. A long needle. This completes the second row of crochet. Now hook the third loop. Stand up for 2 stitches. Then flip the knitting. We're on the third row. It's crocheting in this gap. Hook 2 long stitches in the first gap. 2. Then lock a stitch. Hook 2 more long needles into the same space. Then hook 2 long needles into the next gap. A lock pin. Then continue to hook 2 long needles into the gap. We hook 2 long needles into each gap. A needle. Continue with 2 long stitches until the third row is crocheted. After the third row is complete, next we hook the fourth row. Stand up for 2 stitches. Then flip the knitting. Also crochet in this gap. Hook 2 long pins into the first gap. Then lock 2 stitches. Hook 2 more long pins into the same gap. This completes a group. Next, the second gap is also filled with 2 long needles. 2 locking pins. Continue with the same gap for 2 long stitches. We're in every gap. It's 2 long stitches. 2 locking pins. Then the same 2 long needles. We repeat this crochet pattern until the line is finished weaving. After the fourth row is complete. Next we hook line 5. First hook 2 braids as a standing pin. Then flip the knitting. Also crochet inside the gap. Insert the crochet hook into the first gap. Hook 3 long stitches 1. 3. Then count the stitches. Continue to hook 3 long stitches in the same gap. 2. 3. Then we go into the next gap. Also first hook 3 long needle 1. Well. 3. Then to lock pins. Continue with 3 long stitches. 1. 3. We're going through every gap. 3 long needles. 2 locking pins. 3 long needles. Until the crochet line is complete. After line 5 is complete, next we hook line 6. Row 6 before crochet. First hook 2 braids as a standing pin. Then flip the knitting. Crochet method in row 6, same crochet method as row 5. Again, hook 3 long needles into the gap. Then hook 2 hand pins. Then continue to hook 3 long needles into the gap. Inside Inside each gap are 3 long needles. And then to lock pins. 3 long needles. Until this horizontal weave is complete. After the last gap, we lock 2 needles. Then with the previous line, the last stitch draws the broken thread. This completes the bottom layer. Then we draw lines to crochet the first layer. Left hand needle. Hook 46 braid pins. 345,678 46 braid stitches completed. Now we're going to continue to hook a braid. As a standing pin, then start hooking the first row. Crochet into the end of the penultimate stitch. Hook a short needle. Next, hook the short pin again. We hook a short needle into each eye until you finish weaving the first row. After completion, let's go ahead and tick the second line. Stand up with the stitches. Then flip the knitting. Our first 9 needle orders. Inside each needle is a long needle. Well, 2, 3, 4, 56, 7, 8, and then the 10th stitch. We hook 2 long needles into this stitch. 1, 2, and then we'll go into groups of 10. Repeat crochet according to this crochet pattern. The last 6 needles, 1 short needle in each eye. Next we hook the third row. First hook 2 braids as a standing pin. Flip knitting. The third row is a group of 5 stitches. Let's hook a long needle into the first stitch. The second stitch has a long needle in it. A long, incomplete needle is hooked into the third stitch. Then change the line. Tie a knot first. Raking out. Then we're in the 4th needle. Hook 5 unfinished long stitches. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw a line when you're done. Tick off. Next, hook 2 long stitches into the 5th stitch. 1. Next, the second 5 stitches. Also, the first stitch is a long needle. Tick unfinished. Then change the line. It's in the second stitch. Hook 5 unfinished long stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then draw a line and tick it off. Next up in the third stitch, a long needle. Inside the 4th letter, there's a long needle. Then there are 2 long needles in the 5th eye. Next by, the stalk is the first for normal stalks. Per stalk, there's a long needle inside. The 5th root stalk has 2 long needles. 3. For we repeat crochet according to this crochet pattern, all the way to the end. 10 letters. There are 10 pins left. We have a long needle in the end of the first needle. The second needle has a long needle in it. A long, unfinished needle in the third stitch. Then draw a line. Raking out. Then hook it inside the 4th stitch. 5 unfinished long stitches. 1. Well. 3. 5. After completion, change the line. Tick off. Next is inside the 5th stitch. Hook 2 long pins. The last 5 needles. First, hook a long unfinished stitch into the first stitch. Then draw a line. Raking out, hook 5 in the second stitch. Unfinished long stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after completion. Change the line. Then hook a long needle into the third stitch. The fourth needle has the same long needle in it. Fifth spiculotta, that's the 2 long needles in the last stitch. 1, 2. After completion, stitch. Flip knitting, let's stick the fourth line. The fourth row is a group of 7 stitches. The first 3 needles. Each stitch has a short stitch in it. Then hook 2 short stitches into the fourth stitch. Followed by 3 needles. 1 short needle in each eye. Such a group is completed. Next we repeat this set of crochets. The first 3 needles. 1 short needle per stitch. The fourth stitch has 2 short stitches. Followed by 3 needles. 1 short needle per stitch. We repeat this crochet pattern until you finish this line. After the fourth row is complete, we hook a braid as a standing pin. Then flip the knitting. To tick the last line, the first stitch is a short stitch. Then lock 3 stitches. Then empty a stitch. A short needle in the next stitch. Continue to lock 3. The braid needle then empties a stitch. A short needle. Triple lock. Buckle a stitch, a short needle. We repeat this crochet pattern until you finish this line. When that's done, we cut the line. After these 2 layers are done, then we'll hook the straps. The process of connecting the strap with the main body. Take these 2 layers and connect these 2 layers together. Left hand needle. 12/30 for count for stitches. Crochet into the first stitch. Hook 5 unfinished long stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After completion, there are 6 coils on a crochet hook. Tick off. Then continue to lock the pins. The crochet is then inserted into the penultimate 4th stitch. Hook 5 unfinished lengths. Unfinished long stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then tick them all together. Follow with the very beginning of the first stitch drawing. Then continue to hook the braid needle. 123,456, a total of 45 braid hooks. After the 45 braid stitches are finished, next we connect with the subject. Crochet into the first stitch. Hook a short pin. Then pull the needle in each eye. Align front and rear. The front and back stock should be aligned. Nothing can be omitted. This leads all the way to the last stitch. Last stitch. Hook a short pin. Then hook 45 braids. Add a ball. Final draw. Disconnection. Finally, we take out the pin. Hide the thread in the fabric. Then cut off any excess thread. Finally, we stitch the stem on the cherry. I've already sewed one here. Then sew another one. And then we tie him in a knot. Cut off any excess threads. So the sewing is complete. And then there's this green collar. And then the decorations here are made of puff flowers. That's where it is. Place to hook 5 unfinished long stitches. We use a long needle instead of a normal hook. Then hook to puff flowers and glue them to the main body.